The colony ship Gentle Dawn was dying. Elder Kessa stood on the bridge and watched the warning lights flash red. They had been flashing for 6 hours now. The ship's engines were dead. The shields were failing. And outside the viewing windows, a dying star burned with terrible heat. "How much time do we have?" Kessa asked. Her voice was calm, but her 4 thin arms trembled at her sides. Navigator Tillin checked his screens. He was young, barely an adult by Velis standards. His pale blue skin had lost its natural glow. 72 hours, Elder. Maybe less. The radiation is getting stronger. Kessa closed her large, dark eyes. 2,347 souls. That was how many Velith lived on this ship. Families, children, elders who had seen 100 years. All of them would die here, cooked slowly by the radiation of a star that was tearing itself apart. "The emergency beacon," Kessa said. "Is it ready?" "Yes, Elder, but—" Tillin hesitated. "We are far from Alliance space. The signal may not reach our allies in time." "Send it anyway. The Norvani patrol these sectors sometimes. Perhaps the Quillix traders will hear us." Kessa opened her eyes. "We have no other choice." Tillin pressed the button. The beacon activated with a soft hum. It sent out a cry for help in all directions, coded in the language of the Galactic Alliance. It told anyone listening that a ship was in danger. It gave coordinates. It begged for rescue. The signal flew into the darkness of space. It bounced off asteroids. It bent around gravity wells. It scattered and weakened as it traveled farther and farther from the dying ship. Most of it was lost to the void. But one small piece of that signal went somewhere it was never meant to go. It slipped through a gap in the interference. It crossed into a region of space that the Galactic Alliance had marked with warnings. A region where a strange and terrifying species lived. The signal reached Earth space far away. In a different part of the galaxy, a human ship moved through the stars. It was called the Horizon's Edge, and it was not a warship. It was an exploration vessel sent out to map unknown regions and study new planets. Its crew was small but skilled. Captain Taiho sat in his command chair and read reports on his tablet. He was a tall man with broad shoulders and a calm face. His black hair was cut short, and his dark eyes moved quickly as he read. He had been a captain for 10 years. He had seen strange things in space. He had learned to expect the unexpected. "Captain," said a voice from the communication station, "I am picking up something strange." Taiho looked up. "What is it, Hambin?" Communications Officer Hambin adjusted his equipment. He was younger than Taiho, with quick hands and sharp ears. "A signal, sir. It is weak and broken, but I think it is a distress call." "From who?" "Unknown. The language is not human, but the pattern is clear. Someone is asking for help." Taiho stood and walked to Hambin's station. He listened to the signal. It was full of static and gaps, but he could hear the fear in it. Even without understanding the words, he knew what desperation sounded like. "Can you find where it came from?" Hambin worked his controls. "Yes, sir. The source is 14 hours away at maximum speed. Near a dying star." "A dying star?" Lieutenant Yuna spoke from her tactical station. She was a strong woman with sharp features and quick reflexes. Before joining the crew, she had been a soldier. She still moved like one. "That is a dangerous place, Captain." "I know." Taiho looked at the star map on the main screen. The region was marked with radiation warnings. Any ship that went there would need strong shields and a brave crew. But someone was dying out there. Taiho made his decision in 2 seconds. "Set course for those coordinates. Maximum speed." Yuna raised an eyebrow. "Sir, we do not know who sent that signal. We do not know if it is a trap." "It is not a trap. Taiho said simply. It is a cry for help, and we are going to answer it. He pressed the ship-wide communication button. All hands, this is the captain. We have received a distress signal from an unknown vessel near a dying star. We are changing course to provide assistance. I need everyone at their stations. Engineering, prepare for high radiation. Medical, prepare for casualties. We move in 10 minutes. The ship came alive with activity. Engineer Sujin ran to her engine room, her toolkit already in hand. Dr. Minho began preparing the medical bay for patients he had never seen before. Sergeant Woojin gathered his security team not for combat, but for rescue operations. In 14 hours. They would reach the dying star. In 14 hours. They would meet aliens for the first time, and the galaxy would learn that when humans heard a cry for help, they did not ask questions. They did not wait. They did not calculate risks. They answered. Back on the gentle dawn, Elder Kessa sat in her chair and waited. The radiation alarms grew louder. The temperature inside the ship rose slowly. Children cried in the lower decks. Parents held them close and whispered comfort. Kessa did not know that help was coming. She did not know that creatures from a world called Earth had heard her signal. She did not know that her prayer was about to be answered by the most feared species in the galaxy. All she knew was hope. And sometimes, in the cold darkness of space, hope was enough. The hours passed. The star burned, and the horizon's edge flew toward destiny. The horizon's edge dropped out of hyperspace, and the dying star filled the viewing windows with angry red light. Captain Taiho stood on the bridge and looked at it. The star was old and sick. It threw out waves of radiation that would kill most living things. Its gravity pulled at everything nearby, trying to drag ships into its burning heart. Radiation levels are high, Engineer Sujin reported from her station. But our shields will hold. We have maybe 20 hours before we need to worry. Good enough, Taiho said. Find me that ship. It did not take long. The gentle dawn appeared on their sensors, drifting near the edge of the star's reach. It was a large ship, bigger than the horizon's edge, but it was dark. Most of its lights were off. Its engines were cold and dead. Life signs? Taiho asked. Dr. Minho checked his medical sensors. Over 2,000, Captain. But many are weak. They are dying from radiation sickness. Open a communication channel. On the gentle dawn, Navigator Tillen saw the human ship appear on his screen. His blood went cold. Elder, he shouted. A ship has come. Kessa hurried to the sensors. For a moment, her heart filled with hope. Then she saw the ship's markings. She saw where it came from. That is not a Norvani ship, she whispered. That is not Quillex. Tillen's hands were shaking. The computer says it is from the Sol system. From Earth. The bridge went silent. Every Veleth knew about Earth. Every child in the Galactic Alliance grew up hearing stories about the Death World and its terrible inhabitants. Earth was a planet of nightmares. Its gravity was crushing. Its weather was violent. Its animals were savage hunters, and the beings that evolved there, they were monsters, predators, creatures built for killing. They have found us, Hilamora said. She had come to the bridge to report on the sick. Now she stood frozen in fear. The Deathworlders have found us. Perhaps they will pass by, Tillen said hopefully. Perhaps they do not care about us. But even as he spoke, the human ship changed course. It turned toward the gentle dawn. It came closer. A voice filled the bridge. It spoke in a language the Veleth did not understand at first. Then their translation computers caught up, and the words became clear. This is Captain Taiho of the Earth vessel Horizon's Edge. We received your distress signal. We are here to help. Please respond. Kessa stared at the speaker. The voice was calm and steady. It did not sound like a monster. "It is a trick," Mora said. "They want us to lower our shields so they can eat us." "We have no shields," Tillin reminded her. "We have nothing. We are helpless." Kessa looked at her crew. She looked at the radiation alarms that kept flashing. She thought about the 2,000 people on her ship who would die in less than 3 days if no one helped them. She had no choice. "Open a channel," she said. "Elder, no." "Open it." Tillin obeyed with trembling fingers. Kessa spoke slowly and clearly. "Human vessel. This is Elder Kessa of the Velith colony ship, Gentle Dawn. We accept your aid." There was a pause. Then the human voice spoke again. "Understood, Elder Kessa. We are moving to dock with your ship. Please prepare your airlocks. We are bringing medical supplies and engineers. How many injured do you have?" 300 are badly hurt. Many more are sick. We will help them. Please stay calm. We will be there soon." The channel closed. Kessa sat down heavily in her chair. "What have you done?" Mora asked. "You have invited them inside." "I have saved our people," Kessa said. "Or I have killed them. We will see." On the horizon's edge, Captain Taiho gathered his team. "Listen carefully," he said. "These are aliens. They are not human. They will be scared of us. I need everyone to be gentle and calm. Do not make sudden moves. Do not raise your voices. We are here to help, not to frighten." Lieutenant Yuna nodded. "Rules of engagement?" "There are no rules of engagement. We are not fighting anyone. We are rescuing them." Taiho looked at each member of his team. "These people are dying. They called for help, and we answered. That is all that matters. Now let us go save some lives." The two ships connected with a soft bump. The airlocks opened. The Velith security officers waited on the other side. They were small beings, barely reaching Taiho's chest. Their skin was pale blue and seemed to glow faintly. They had 4 thin arms and large dark eyes. Those eyes were wide with terror. They held ceremonial staffs in their trembling hands. The staffs looked old and decorative. They would not hurt anyone. Then the humans stepped through the airlock to the Velith. It was like watching nightmares come to life. The humans were huge. Captain Taiho stood nearly 2 meters tall. His body was thick with muscles. His eyes faced forward, like a predator's eyes. When he moved, it was with the smooth grace of a hunter. Behind him came Lieutenant Yuna, her body coiled and ready. Then Sergeant Woojen, carrying heavy equipment like it weighed nothing. Then Dr. Minho, with his medical bag. The Velith guards stepped back. One of them dropped his staff. Taiho saw their fear. He understood it. So he did something that surprised everyone. He knelt down. He lowered himself until Avayan. His eyes were level with the Velith's eyes. His voice became soft and gentle. "Hello," he said. "My name is Taiho. We are here to help you. Please, do not be afraid." Elder Kessa watched from behind her guards. This was not what she had expected. This creature from the Death World knelt before her people like a friend. His voice was kind. His terrible predator eyes held no hunger. They held concern. "Take us to your wounded," Taiho said. "We do not have much time." Kessa stepped forward. Her guards tried to stop her, but she pushed past them. "Follow me," she said, and she led the monsters into her ship. The corridors of the Gentle Dawn were hot and dark. Emergency lights flickered on the walls. The air smelled of fear and sickness. Elder Kessa led Captain Taiho and his team through the ship. Velith people pressed themselves against the walls as they passed. Mothers pulled their children close. Old ones whispered prayers. Taiho noticed all of this. He kept his movements slow and his voice quiet. He smiled at the children who peeked at him from behind their parents. Most of them hid their faces, but a few stared back with curiosity instead of fear. "Your ship is badly damaged," Taiho said as they walked. "Yes," Kessa replied. "Our engines failed 3 days ago. We tried to repair them, but we could not. Then the star's gravity caught us." "What were you doing near a dying star?" "We did not know it was dying. Our maps were old. We were looking for a new home." Kessa's voice became sad. "Our world was destroyed by war. We are refugees." Taiho nodded. He understood what it meant to lose a home. "We will get you to safety. I promise." Kessa looked up at him. Even now, his size frightened her. His forward-facing eyes made her want to run. But his words were gentle, and his promise sounded real. They reached the medical bay. It was crowded with sick and injured Velith. Some lay on beds. Others sat on the floor. A few did not move at all. Gila Mora was there, doing what she could with limited supplies. When she saw the humans enter, she backed away. "What are they doing here?" she demanded. "They are here to help," Kessa said. "Help? They are predators." "They will." Dr. Minho stepped forward. He was shorter than Taiho, but still much taller than the Velith. His face was kind, and he moved carefully to not frighten anyone. "I am a doctor," he said. "May I see your patients?" Mora hesitated. Then she looked at the dying Velith around her. She had done everything she could. It was not enough. "This one," she said finally, pointing to a young Velith on the nearest bed. "The radiation has damaged his blood. I cannot save him." Minho knelt beside the patient. He pulled out a scanner from his medical bag and began to examine the young Velith. His hands were steady and gentle. "His cell damage is bad," Minho said. "But I have seen worse. I can help him." "How?" Mora asked. "Our medicine cannot fix this." Minho pulled out a small bottle and a needle. "Human medicine is different. Our planet is very dangerous. Radiation, poison, disease, we face these things all the time. We have learned how to heal from them." He gave the young Velith an injection. Then he gave him some pills and adjusted the bed to keep him comfortable. "He will need more treatment," Minho said. "But he will live." Mora stared at him. You healed him?" "Just like that." "Not completely, but I stopped him from dying." Minho stood up and looked around the medical bay. "I need to see all of them. The most serious cases first." For the next 2 hours, Minho moved from patient to patient. He treated radiation burns. He gave medicine for damaged organs. He set broken bones and cleaned wounds. He did not rest. He did not complain. Mora followed him and watched everything he did. At first, she watched because she did not trust him. Later, she watched because she wanted to learn. "How do you know what to do?" she asked. "You have never seen our species before." "Bodies are bodies," Minho said. "The details are different, but the basics are the same. Blood needs to flow. Organs need to work. Wounds need to heal." He gave her a small smile. "Also, I read your ship's medical database on the way here. You learned our biology in 14 hours? I learned enough." He handed her a bottle of pills. "Give these to patients with breathing problems. 2 pills every 4 hours." Meanwhile, Engineer Sujin had gone to the engine room. The Velith engineers there looked at her with the same fear everyone else showed. But Sujin did not notice. She was too busy looking at the broken engines. "What happened here?" she asked. A Velith engineer named Balan answered her. "The main power coupling broke. We tried to fix it, but we do not have the right parts." Sujin crawled under the engine. Her hands moved quickly, touching parts and checking connections. Sparks flew near her face. She did not flinch. "The coupling is not the only problem," she said. "Your fuel lines are cracked. Your cooling system is blocked. And someone connected the backup power wrong. Can you fix it? Balin asked. Sujin smiled. It was the smile of someone who loved a good challenge. Give me 4 hours and some metal scraps. I can fix anything. She began to work. Her hands moved so fast that the Velith could barely follow them. She welded broken parts together. She rerouted power through new paths. She built new pieces from old ones. Balin watched her work. He had been an engineer for 30 years. He had never seen anyone work like this. How are you doing this? He asked. You are working with bare hands. The heat should burn you. Human skin is tough, Sujin said without looking up. We evolved to handle pain. It helps us survive. But why? Why would any species evolve to survive so much damage? Sujin paused. She looked at Balin with her strange forward-facing eyes. Because our world is dangerous, she said. Everything on Earth wants to kill you. The weather, the animals, the plants. Even the water can kill you if you are not careful. She went back to her work. We did not have a choice. We had to become strong, or we would die. Balin was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, Is that why the galaxy fears your kind? Sujin laughed. It was a warm sound. Maybe, but we are not here to hurt anyone. We are just trying to help. But why help us? We are strangers. We are not even the same species. Sujin stopped working again. This time, her face was serious. Because you needed help, she said. And we could give it. That is reason enough. She turned back to the engine and continued her repairs. Balin stood there for a long time, thinking about her words. The dying star was getting angrier. Captain Taiho looked at the sensors and saw the radiation levels climbing. The Gentle Dawn's weak shields were failing faster now. They had maybe 12 hours before the ship became a death trap. We cannot save the ship, he said to Elder Kessa. We need to move everyone to the horizon's edge. Kessa's face went pale. All 2,000 of us? Your ship is not big enough. We will make room. We have cargo bays, storage areas, hallways if we need them. Taiho put a hand on her shoulder. His touch was gentle, despite his size. I will not leave anyone behind. The evacuation began immediately. Lieutenant Yuna took charge of moving the Velith. She organized them into groups and led them through the connecting tunnel between the two ships. Her voice was firm but kind. Stay together. Watch your step. There is plenty of room for everyone. The Velith followed her like frightened children. Many of them had never seen a human before today. Now they were walking onto a human ship. Some of them cried. Others held their families close and whispered prayers. But they went. They had no other choice. Sergeant Wujin led his security team through the Gentle Dawn, checking every room and corridor for survivors. They found an old couple hiding in a storage closet, too afraid to come out. Wujin knelt down and spoke to them softly. Come with me, he said. You will be safe. I promise. The old Velith looked up at him. Wujin was huge and covered in protective gear. He looked like a monster from their worst nightmares, but his voice was gentle. His eyes were kind. The old couple took his hands and let him lead them to safety in the engine room. Things were getting dangerous. The ship's power core was becoming unstable. Warning alarms screamed. Lights flashed red. Engineer Sujin refused to leave. I almost have it, she said, her hands deep inside the machinery. Just give me 5 more minutes. We do not have 5 minutes. Balin shouted. The core will explode. Then you should probably run. Balin stared at her. This human was going to die trying to save a ship that was not hers, surrounded by people who were not her species. Why? He asked. Why are you doing this? Sujin grunted as she pulled a broken piece free. Because if I can restart the main power, Even for a little while, we can use the Gentle Dawn's transporters. We can move your people 3 times faster." She looked at him with fierce eyes. "That means we save more lives. Now go. Get to safety." Balin did not go. Instead, he grabbed the tool and began helping her. They worked together as the temperature rose and the alarms got louder. Sujin's hands bled from the sharp metal. Balin's skin began to burn from the heat. Neither of them stopped. "There!" Sujin shouted. She connected the last wire and the engine hummed to life. "It will not last long, but it will be enough. Go. Tell them to start the transporters." Balin ran. Behind him, the engine room began to collapse. Sujin did not run. She stayed, holding the connection together with her bare hands, keeping the power flowing for just a few more minutes. On the bridge, Tillin saw the transporters come online. His eyes went wide. "The engines are working," he shouted. "We can transport now." Captain Taiho smiled. "Sujin, you beautiful genius." The transporters worked fast. Hundreds of Veleth were moved to the horizon's edge in minutes. Families who had been separated were brought together. Injured people were beamed directly to the medical bay. But the celebration was short. A section of the Gentle Dawn suddenly exploded. Fire and debris flew everywhere. A corridor collapsed, trapping dozens of Veleth inside. Lieutenant Yuna did not hesitate. She ran toward the fire. "Yuna!" Taiho shouted into his communicator. "What are you doing?" "My job, Captain." Her voice was calm, even as smoke filled the corridor around her. She reached the collapsed section and began pulling debris away with her bare hands. The metal was hot. It burned her palms. She did not stop behind the debris. She could hear crying. Children. There were children trapped back there. Yuna pulled harder. Her muscles screamed. Her lungs burned from the smoke. A piece of burning metal fell on her shoulder. She ignored it. Finally, she broke through. On the other side, she found a Veleth mother holding 3 small children. They were alive but trapped. "Come with me," Yuna said. "I will carry you." "You cannot carry all of us," the mother said. Yuna smiled. It was a fierce, determined smile. "Watch me." She picked up all 3 children in her arms. The mother climbed onto her back. Yuna carried them all through the burning corridor, through the smoke and the flames, back to the safe zone. When they reached the horizon's edge, the mother collapsed and wept. "Thank you," she sobbed. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Yuna put the children down gently. Her hands were burned. Her shoulder was badly hurt. But she smiled. "You are welcome," she said. Then she turned and ran back into the burning ship. 12 hours. No rest. No break stopped. The humans worked without stopping. Dr. Minho treated patient after patient until his eyes could barely stay open. Engineer Sujin held the engines together until the very last transport was complete. Sergeant Wujin carried sick elders on his back when they were too weak to walk. And through it all, Captain Taiho directed everything. He was everywhere at once, helping with evacuations, making decisions, encouraging his crew. Finally, the last Veleth was brought aboard the horizon's edge. "Everyone is off the Gentle Dawn," Lieutenant Yuna reported. Her voice was tired but proud. Taiho nodded. "Get us out of here. Maximum speed." The horizon's edge pulled away from the dying ship. Behind them, the Gentle Dawn drifted toward the angry star. Its hull began to glow red from the heat. The Veleth watched from the viewing windows. Their ship, their home for so many years, was dying. Elder Kessa felt tears run down her face. Everything they had owned was on that ship. All their history, all their memories. But her people were alive. 2,347 souls, saved by the creatures they had been taught to fear. The Gentle Dawn entered the star's outer layer. It burned brightly for a moment, like a second star. Then it was gone. Navigator Tilland stood beside Elder Kessa. His young face was wet with tears. "It is over," he said softly. Kessa shook her head. "No, I think it is just beginning." The horizon's edge was crowded, but calm. Captain Tejo's crew had given up their beds for the injured Velith. They shared their food. They turned cargo bays into sleeping areas with blankets and pillows. They did everything they could to make the refugees comfortable. Tejo had not slept in 36 hours. He stood by a viewing window, watching the stars go by. His body was exhausted, but his mind would not rest. Behind him, he heard soft footsteps. Elder Kessa came to stand beside him. "You should sleep," she said. "I will soon." He gave her a tired smile. "How are your people?" "Alive, thanks to you." Kessa was quiet for a moment. "I need to ask you something, Captain." "Ask. Why did you come?" "Our signal was not meant for you. We are not your allies. We are strangers from the other side of the galaxy." She looked up at him with her large, dark eyes. "The Galactic Alliance teaches its children to fear your kind. They call you monsters, Deathworlders, killers." Her voice shook slightly. "But you risked your lives to save us. Why?" Tejo was silent for a long time. He watched the stars. He thought about the question. "Can I tell you a story?" he finally asked. Kessa nodded. "A long time ago, when humans were young, we lived on a very hard world. Everything wanted to kill us. The animals, the weather, disease, even other humans." Tejo's voice was soft and sad. "We fought. We died. We killed each other for food and land and power. For thousands of years, we hurt each other." Kessa listened quietly. But something changed. Slowly, over many years, we started to learn. We learned that working together made us stronger. We learned that helping others helped ourselves. We learned the universe is cold and empty and does not care if we live or die. Tejo turned to look at her. "So we decided to care. We decided that if the universe will not be kind, then we will be. If no one else will help, then we will help. Because that is what makes us human. But the stories say your people are dangerous. We are dangerous." Tejo did not deny it. "We can be terrible. Our history is full of war and cruelty and pain. But that is why we try so hard to be better. We know what we are capable of. We know the darkness inside us." He smiled gently. "So we choose the light. Every day, we choose to help instead of hurt, to save instead of destroy. It is not easy, but it is right." Kessa felt tears forming in her eyes. This was not what she had expected. This was not the monster from the stories. "I think," she said slowly, "that the galaxy has misunderstood your people. Maybe, or maybe we just have not had the chance to show them who we really are. Perhaps I can help with that." 3 months later, Elder Kessa stood before the Galactic Alliance Council. The council chamber was huge. Representatives from more than 100 species filled the seats. Some were tall and thin. Others were small and round. Some had fur. Others had scales. They came in every color and shape imaginable. All of them were watching Kessa. "Thank you for allowing me to speak," Kessa said. Her voice was strong and clear. "I am here to talk about the humans." Whispers spread through the chamber. Many of the representatives looked uncomfortable. Some looked scared. "I know what the Alliance says about them," Kessa continued. "Deathworlders, monsters, dangerous predators from a savage world." She paused. 3 months ago, I believed those stories. I was afraid of humans. I thought they would kill us all. The chamber was silent. Then my ship broke down near a dying star. 2,000 of my people were going to die. I sent a distress signal. It was not meant for the humans. But they heard it anyway. Cass's voice grew stronger. And they came. They came through radiation that would have killed most species. They came into danger without hesitation. They came because we needed help. She looked around the chamber at all the different faces watching her. They saved us. Every single one of us. Their doctor treated our sick for 18 hours without rest. Their engineer held broken machines together with her bare hands. Their captain gave up his own bed for our wounded. Their soldiers carried our children through fire and smoke. Cassa felt tears on her cheeks, but she did not stop. They are not monsters. They are what the galaxy needs, but is too afraid to create. They are the ones who answer when no one else comes. They are hope in the darkness. She straightened her shoulders. I moved that the humans of Earth be invited to join the Galactic Alliance. The chamber exploded with noise. Some representatives shouted in protest. Others argued in support. The debate went on for hours, but in the end, the vote was taken. The humans were invited to join. Far away, on the horizon's edge, Captain Taiho received a message. He read it slowly. Then he read it again. Then he started to laugh. Lieutenant Yuna looked up from her station. Her hands were still bandaged from her burns, but she was healing well. What is it? Taiho turned to face his crew. They were all there: Yuna, Dr. Minho, Engineer Sujin, Sergeant Woojin, and all the others. They had worked so hard. They had risked so much. We just got invited to join the Galactic Alliance, Taiho said. For a moment, no one moved. Then Sujin let out a cheer. Woojin laughed and clapped Minho on the back. Yuna smiled her rare, beautiful smile. About time, she said. Taiho looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Velith were building a new home. Somewhere out there, 100 species were learning that humans were not monsters. Somewhere out there, the galaxy was changing. And it all started because a group of humans heard a cry for help and decided to answer. What now, Captain? Yuna asked. Taiho smiled. Now we keep going. There is a whole galaxy out there. A lot of people who need help. A lot of minds that need changing. He sat down in his command chair. Let us show them who we really are. The horizon's edge turned toward the stars and flew into the future. Behind them, the darkness of space. Ahead of them, endless possibility. And in between, a simple truth that humans had learned long ago. The universe does not care if you survive. So we do. We care about each other. We care about strangers. We care about anyone who needs help. That is what makes us human. And that is why, when the aliens sent their signal, the Deathworlders answered. Not because they had to, because they wanted to.